And that's a wrap for the college football regular season. USC ends the year at 9-3. Was it a successful season or not so much? We'll debate that one in just a minute. But elsewhere in the Big Ten, Ohio State, Indiana, Julian Say and Fernando Mendoza going to be battling it out in the Big Ten championship. It's going to be a good one, and we'll give you guys our picks. USC men's basketball starting off the year at 8-0, just had a big road conference win, currently number 24 in the nation. Is this a tournament team? We'll debate that one. All that and more coming up next on Sports Scene.
Welcome to Sports Scene for our final episode of the semester. I'm Adam Ukazoglu.
And I'm Nia Satterfield-Brown.
The USC football team season has come to a close after a big crosstown victory over UCLA and a solid regular season record of 9-3. Now, on the season, the Trojans had some positives. Their offense was explosive. They averaged 36.5 points a game. They averaged over 470 yards a game, good for 10th best in college football. Almost 300 passing yards a game, good for 8th best in college football. And they balanced it out with the run as well, almost 175 rushing yards a game. Now, aside from the statement win over the Bruins, the Trojans had some other big ones. They include an 18-point triumph over the ranked Michigan Wolverines, a scrapped, rainy victory over a ranked Iowa team, and an away win at Nebraska in a very hostile environment. Starting quarterback Jalen Maiava had an amazing season, exceeding all expectations that were placed on him. He finished second in the nation in QBR, third in passing yards per attempt, and fourth in yards per completion. So we've been through all the Trojans' highlights, and there were a good amount, but they finished 9-3 and missed the playoffs for a reason. The defense that was supposed to be elite under coordinator Danton Lynn struggled heavily. They allowed just under 350 yards per game. In addition, 145 rushing yards a game allowed, and they allowed over 3 touchdowns for 22.4 points allowed per game. In addition, all 3 of their losses came on the road. In South Bend to Notre Dame, a game they got gashed in the run game in Champaign to Illinois when the team fell sick just the day before, and in Eugene to Oregon where special team woes cost them dearly.
You kind of dip ahead to next year, right? This is where, because of the calendar right now, we're in a little bit of an in-between time. Obviously, season's not over. We got a big bowl game coming up, a chance to get our 10th win that we're going to certainly start gearing up for, but right now, you know, we're doing a lot of the kind of end of regular season stuff with our current team. Obviously, meeting with guys that have eligibility left about what the future looks like.
Now joined by Nolan here to discuss it. Guys, we have to talk about this season. I mean, Coach Riley claims that there's still a season left. It's a bowl game. It's not the college football playoff. I have to ask you, I'm Nolan, I'm going to start with you. Was this season a success?
Adam, it absolutely was not. Now, I've been a big pessimist about this USC squad for a while, and 9-3 actually exceeded my expectations, but that's because I didn't think the quarterback situation would be what it was. If you told me what you just told me about Maiava and those numbers, second in QBR, I would say, wow, this is a playoff team. This is a 10-2, maybe even 11-1 team. But the defense is the reason why this team is losing 3 games and they can't win on the road in the Big Ten. Now that's a disappointment knowing what I know about this quarterback situation. They deserve better.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely brutal losses this season, and you lose to your rival Notre Dame. Nia, I'm now going to toss it to you. What do you think? Was this season successful?
I think Nolan was a bit harsh. I mean, I think this team still did well. They still persevered in those key moments. They still had some really key plays, players stepping up to the plate on the offensive and defensive side of the ball. I mean, it was a tough schedule. You know, definitely there were some hiccups along the road. The team was sick for one game, 2 star corners out for the Oregon game. Also, at the beginning of the season, this team was not healthy from the first game.
Yeah, the kicker out for the season.
Kicker out for the season, Prophet Brown out for the season, Chasen, like they had players out and they still had people coming in, those freshmen and walk-ons trying to perform and do well. So honestly, with what they did with the season, who they had available, this was a successful season in my opinion.
Nolan, I got to give you a chance to respond. what do you think? I mean, the Trojans were injured, but I mean, what do you think?
Yeah, well, you talk about key moments. What key moments were there that USC actually persevered in? Key moments, we're talking about at Illinois, it's a 2-point game. You can't lose that game. Oregon, USC lost that game more than Oregon won it. Oregon didn't look good. There was a drive where both teams combined for over 80 penalty yardage. Oregon didn't look good.
Missing
USC
Kamari Ramsey,
worse.
missing Bishop Fitzgerald.
That is fair.
Those were key players all season.
USC lost 3 games. There's 2 other games that they lost. You can't lose both of those games. USC fumbled.
I agree. The Illinois game, I'm on the same page with you with that. That was unacceptable. But Notre Dame and Oregon, I mean, those were not terrible losses.
Well, I mean, you have to ask the question, even if they do beat Illinois, do they really get in? It's a 2-loss team who doesn't have the head-to-head over Notre Dame, who they'd be arguing against. I mean, I would argue they really had to go 11-1 or just beat Notre Dame, and they couldn't get it done. I mean, no matter what you think of the season, this is now Lincoln Riley's 4th straight one without a college football playoff berth. While being a top 5 highest-paid coach in the country, I'm just going to put it out there. Even though they missed the playoffs, the Trojans still have a shot to bring home a trophy. Liam has more on Makai Lemon.
Mark your calendars. December 12th, the Biletnikoff Award will be decided for the best receiver in college football. And considering it's our last show of the semester, we're closing things out with a statement. Makai Lemon should be the next Biletnikoff Award winner. Welcome back to X's and O's. I'm Liam Irvin. Let's break things down. Lemon is a superstar playmaker, but I want to highlight 2 elements of his game I think he does extremely well. The first is route running awareness. He's in the slot right here, soft zone coverage for Michigan. This is a choice route for Lemon. He can go in or out. He recognizes the rollout from Mailto, good rollout by the way, and he goes towards the sideline that Mailto is rolling out to, a toe tap towards the sideline, and you think off that initial look, 15-yard completion, not a big play, but look at this awareness. Eyes downfield. He's stacking his feet. He's working his way upfield toward the ball, finding Mailto in the secondary, and then a beautiful toe tap with the awareness towards the sideline. That's the first thing. Second thing is his yards after catch. Back to week 2 here against Georgia Southern. Makai Lemon in one-on-one coverage. You can't do that if you're Georgia Southern. Watch the way he comes up towards this ball and positions himself to break a tackle right here. He comes a yard ahead, and then this is another one right here. That's already 2. Too much space for Lemon in open field. He's going to cut up towards the hashes, back towards the sideline, and how about one more missed tackle? That's 3 on the play for a touchdown for Lemon. Oh, and by the way, he is the highest graded wide receiver in college football, and he leads the Power 4 in receiving yards per game, first downs by receiver. I'm not finished yet. First in the Big Ten in receiving touchdowns, receptions per game, and yards after catch. So when you peel back the layers of the USC offense, Lemon seems to be the answer. But I digress. The reality is 2026 is on the horizon for the Trojans, and that will most likely not include Makai Lemon and Jacoby Lane in the receiving core. But Chad Bowden is building something special with the early signing period opening up today. The #1 overall recruiting class in the country right here. I want to highlight some of the players. The first one signed today, Pepe, 5th ranked player in the entire class, first offensive tackle. Huge addition for the front 5 for the Trojans. For those lack of playmakers, blue chipper Mark Bowman, ranked 42nd in the country, 2nd tight end, highly praised tight end in the class, set to learn under Walker Lyons and company, but is yet to sign on this early period that opened up this morning. He has been active on social media, though, reposting the biggest flip in the recruitment cycle. That's Caden Dixon Wyatt. He was committed to Ohio State up until yesterday, and last second received a prediction to wind up at USC. Signed abruptly this morning. Number 47 overall prospect, ranked 136th in the country. To the flip side, with the immense amount of recruits incoming, it only makes sense that current Trojans would enter the transfer portal. This one is probably the most obvious. Brian Jackson, who missed multiple games during the season, he finished with 123 rushing yards, 4 touchdowns, kind of behind Wayman Jordan and King Miller the whole season. And then you go to DJ Jordan, a true freshman who never really identified his role, and cornerback Braylon Conley, who got 201 defensive snaps, 13 tackles, 1 pass breakup, and 1 forced fumble, as you see there. Riley recently said this group sees the opportunity. I think they all feel that something special is getting ready to happen here. Well, that's looking ahead for next year's season. But for the current landscape on the remainder of this college football season, no one has more.
Yeah, thanks, Liam. It's a battle of the beasts this weekend, with Ohio State and Indiana facing off in the Big Ten Championship this Saturday. The #1 and #2 teams in the country, they're the only 2 squads who can both say they're looking to defend an undefeated resume. Ohio State looks to keep its streak alive, led by the connection between Julian Sayin and standout receiver Jeremiah Smith. Look out for a plethora of targets going his way, just like this one. But Sayin can also sling it downfield. The guy to look for here, that's pass catcher, his favorite deep ball target, Carnell Tate. Now for the newcomer, though, Indiana's game runs through the ground. The Hoosiers lead the Big Ten in rushing yards, racking up 230 a game. Their trio of backs each have over 450 yards on the season, and you can't take your eyes off them or this will happen. But the heart of this team, that's Fernando Mendoza. The Heisman contender leads the Big Ten in passing touchdowns. Got to keep an eye on him, too, if you're a Buckeye. Both squads rank among the top in both offensive and defensive efficiency. But overall, Indiana has garnered attention for leading the Big Ten in points per game this year, outscoring second place by a touchdown. Defensively, Ohio State may be the best team in the country, giving up under 8 points a game. Just think about that. They're giving up 1 touchdown each game, and that's it. Big game ahead of us here. Who's your guys' pick, Adam? I'll start with you.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to go with the Ohio State Buckeyes. Now, here's the thing. It's about a 5.5, 6.5 point spread, so Ohio State is the favorite. But I'm going to make the case that they win by multiple scores. Now, Nia, I don't know if you're going to agree with this one. Nia, I don't know about you, Nolan. But I think Ohio State's the significantly better team, and we haven't seen them play their best ball yet. I mean, you look at guys like Jeremiah Smith. I fully agree with Liam, who just made the case for Mekhi Lemon being the Blitnikoff. Jeremiah Smith hasn't played his best football. Carnell Tate, he's been great. But you look at the defense, 7.8 points per game. I just don't see Fernando Mendoza being good enough to overcome that.
Yeah, I mean, they're among the top in offensive efficiency in the Big Ten, and they're possibly the best defensive team in the country. If that's not even the best football, I don't know what to expect this weekend. Nia, who are you taking?
I'm taking Indiana. I mean, this run is so magical. I mean, they throttled Oregon, Penn State, Iowa. They throttled Illinois as well. Like, they are making major moves. You cannot deny that. So I think it's going to continue moving forward. I mean, this team is incredible. And I don't know. I think they're going to surprise everybody, the Hoosiers. They're on this run, and they're not going to stop.
Yeah, I mean, the thing about Cignetti, he just doesn't lose. I mean, since he's became Indiana's head coach, he just seems to win at almost every single step in the road. I will say, these two teams played last year. 38-15, Ohio State.
They're going to find a way to win, though. I mean, like, I think, you know, with the win here, they're the #1 seed in the college football playoffs. Like, that right there will take them to sports collegiate level elite.
I mean, definitely a little bit of a Cinderella here, and
Yeah.
I'll be rooting for Indiana.
We love a Cinderella team.
I think Ohio State's clearly the better team, though. Here's the thing. Both teams have a really well-oiled machine happening here. I think Julian Sayin and Fernando Mendoza are partially products of their team. They're both Heisman contenders, but they don't really flash out at you and say, wow, this is a top prospect. This is one of the best prospects I've ever seen. It's not the case. They're kind of both products. Here's the thing, though. Indiana's team runs through the ground. That's their thing. They lead the Big Ten in rushing yards per game. Ohio State, #2 rush defense in the country. Whereas Ohio State, they're really good at everything. I think it's going to be tough for Indiana to stop them. Either way, though, this game really determines who is expected to be the #1 team in the college football playoff. Kickoff is Saturday at 5 p.m., and it's going to be a good one.
USC men's who snuck their way into the AP Top 25 poll for this week, the team's first ranking since November 2023. The undefeated Trojans are now 8-0 after opening a Big Ten play with an 82-77 win over Oregon last night. 5 Trojans scored in double figures with the graduate guard Chad Baker-Mazar leading the charge. This comes right after the Trojans were crowned the Maui Invitational champs. Here's what Coach Musselman had to say from Lahana.
We got to enjoy it tonight, which we will, but we do have 2 really tough conference games coming up, and when you hit 6 in a row or 7 in a row, you got to guard yourself about feeling good, and you got to have some grittiness and some desperation, which we'll need on the road at Oregon.
It might not be pretty, but honestly, this team finds a way to win, and I can respect that. Adam, I'll start with you. What do you have to say about this team's will to win these tough games?
My favorite thing about this year's Trojan basketball team is their ability to get to the foul line.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know about the updated, but going into last night's game, the Trojans were second in the country in free throw attempts per game. Now, there's a lot of teams in the country. Trojans second, and it all starts with the physicality that Eric Musselman pushes in practice. Ezra Asar gets to the hoop. I mean, it seems like they just can't be stopped, especially inside the paint.
Nolan, how far can this team go with this streak of just pure dominance?
Well, I had a bad feeling about that Oregon game going into, and the first half especially scared me up until the end. Here's the thing, though. No Rodney Rice, and you were still able to get it done. This is obviously a good squad, but still looking at the past schedule, no clear blue bloods necessarily. You're talking about the best teams being Arizona State, Oregon, Boise State, Troy, those kind of teams. And so we haven't quite seen a real schedule yet. I'm not going to make a statement on that team until I see them really play a good team. Washington will have a good tell, but still got to see some ranked opponents that USC plays before I'm that confident.
I respect it. Well, winning team keeps fans coming back to Galen Center. I look forward to seeing if Galen Center will be rocking this Saturday. They're hosting Washington, so hopefully they can get a win. Continue that streak. Women's hoop soared to deafening 79-33 win over St. Mary's Gales last night. The team's vets, London Jones and Carrie Dunn, scored 17 and 15 respectively. The team is now 6-2 on the season. They'll begin conference play on Sunday, hosting 21-ranked Washington before hosting the top team in the country, UConn. Coming up, we'll hear Zane's top plays from USC hoops and football. Also, stay tuned because we'll also chat women's volleyball, a team that is hosting the NCAA matches for the first time since 2018.
The Trojans have had an action-packed last 3 weeks. It's time for some top plays. We'll toss it to Zane Woods to give him to us.
From the hard top to the football field, USC Athletics had some highlight reel moments. It's time to rewind the tape. I'm Zane Woods, and here are your Trojan plays of the week. Starting on the basketball court, Jazzy Davidson tips a pass in the backcourt. Kennedy Smith snags it and drives into the lane, kicks it back out to Davidson, who splashes a three. Defense to offense, what else do you expect from the Big Ten freshman of the week? Next, we're traveling to the Coliseum where King Miller cuts left and breaks free untouched for a 41-yard touchdown. The King has officially taken his throne and helped retain the bell for USC against the school across town. And just when you thought it couldn't get more electric, Jordan Marsh said otherwise. Down 2 in triple overtime, Rodney Rice comes up with a steal, passes it ahead to Marsh, who throws up a prayer, and it is answered. USC got the win over Troy in a thriller. And that does it for your Trojan Plays of the Week. Now we turn our attention to women's volleyball, who's looking to make a tournament run.
Thanks, Zane. That Trojans, oh my God, Jordan Marsh, unbelievable. But the USC women's volleyball team had a very successful season, finishing 24-6 and ranked 16th in the nation. Our own Casey Kasliner sat down with head coach Brad Keller to talk about the squad.
We are now joined by USC women's volleyball head coach Brad Keller. Brad, thank you so much for taking the time.
Appreciate it.
So you guys are going to the NCAA tournament once again, but you're hosting this time. How does it feel to be able to have games come into Galen Center in the postseason?
Well, it was part of the original mission, right? I mean, part of our job is to become an elite program again. This used to be an historic program that competed for national championships, and so the goal is to get back there. Well, one of those steps is to host. Being able to host is a great advantage. It brings volleyball back into LA. This is an unbelievable place to play volleyball, and so I'm just couldn't be more happy to have that opportunity and grateful to be in that position right now.
Zeroing out a little bit, this is your second season in the Big Ten. What have you learned about this team in this conference and just the conference as a whole?
I keep joking about this all the time, but the Big Ten is no joke. There are no matches off. Everything was a battle. I actually just got done talking to my team and staff today about how proud I was, how we handled ourselves for Michigan and Michigan State. Those were two extremely difficult challenges over a holiday break. Lots of opportunities for trap situations, lots of noise outside of what could be, and I thought they just handled themselves very, very well. It's going to be a grind in this conference every single time. What 8 or 9 teams are in the tournament. It's going to be like that. And they've tested us, and we're battle tested. We're ready to go because of how hard or difficult the Big Ten is.
You brought up those 2 matches in Michigan. You guys finished the year on a high note, 4 matches in a row, victories, 3 on the road, including the one at Oregon as well. How does it feel to go into the postseason on a high note?
Well, it's great. At the end of the day, it's about winning. It's competing and winning matches and playing at your very best. I think we are playing at our very best. And so I really like where we are mentally, physically. I liked how we handled ourselves on the court. I like the way they are talking, even to each other. I just think we're just in a really good, positive space. So I don't think it can get, we'll find out how this goes, right? That's what makes the tournament so amazing, is that you just don't know what buzzsaw you walk into, and our little region is packed with 3 other very, very strong teams.
Yeah, well, good luck this postseason coming up at Galen Center this week, and we'll send it back to you guys in the studio. Alongside Brad Keller, I'm Casey Kasliner.
Thanks, Casey. USC women's volleyball find themselves as a 4 seed in the NCAA tournament, where they will take on Princeton in the first round at Galen Center on Thursday. But volleyball aren't the only ones playing this week. We'll throw it to Nolan to give us the 5-day forecast.
Yeah, thanks, Adam. Big week for the Trojans here as we approach tournament time. On Thursday, though, speaking about volleyball, women's volleyball team begins NCAA tournament play with a matchup against Princeton. Let's move on to Friday, though. Same story for men's water polo. USC takes on Concordia Irvine in the NCAA tournament. Saturday, though, this is where it gets really big. Huge day for the men's basketball squad as they take on Wesley Yates, Desmond Claude, and the Washington Huskies. Tough Big Ten matchup here, but it's at Galen Center. Musselman is going to want some help from students in the stands. Later that weekend, though, the women's squad takes on the ladies at Washington, who rank number 21 in the country. Chance for a big-time win here, also at Galen Center. But lastly, on Monday, looks like the USC athletic department gave these guys some time off. They're students too. They're student athletes. Go get to your studying, student athletes. But now, let's hear from Casey for more on these top performers.
It's fourth quarter, Game 7 of Trojan of the Semester, and we've got one last showdown. Terrence Holton alongside Casey Kasliner, and for my Trojan of the Week, I'm going across the pond because London Weejay isn't falling down, my fair lady. This season, Weejay led USC women's volleyball in kills and points, helping them to secure home games in the NCAA tournament as a number 4 seed, earning their keep in a rugged Big Ten. The bridge definitely isn't falling down.
If one thing is certain in life, 6 is always open. I'm of course referring to wide receiver Makai Lemon, who might be on track to clinch the Biletnikoff Award after his first 1,000-yard season. Makai Lemon isn't just the Trojan of the year, but the wide receiver of the year. 11 touchdowns in the air, 2 on the ground, and heck, he even threw one. He is a shoo-in first-round pick in the upcoming NFL draft. If Makai doesn't embody Trojan, nobody does. He's helped solidify USC as wide receiver U and will be discussed the same way as Michael Pittman, Amon-Ra St. Brown, and other Trojan legends.
Yeah, Casey, he had a great year, and I'll let you go first in a second. But I do think you need to talk about how he did have a tendency to struggle in some of those big-time performances.
How did he struggle? Because
against Notre Dame, he had 2 receptions.
But
he played the best safety.
But Jaden Mayava struggled in that game. See, when you're a wide receiver, a lot of your success hinges on the quarterback. And Mayava, to his credit, is a great quarterback. But Mayava wasn't perfect this season.
He wasn't perfect, but you can't say that he didn't.
But Makai Lemon kept USC in every game. That's why they had a chance to go undefeated this year, is because of Makai Lemon, what he was able to do this year.
Great player. Don't get me wrong. London Weejay, that being said, led her team in many major statistical categories.
She also had some duds too, though. It's only 7 kills against Illinois the
That's
other
fair.
day.
I think they both had duds. I think we got to look at overall the success. Right now USC women's volleyball is in that NCAA
But it's more of a
tournament.
team sport, though.
Yes, I do agree.
Reese Messer was setting her up.
So that is true, but you can't say that Jaden Mayava wasn't setting Makai.
Sure,
Lemon.
yeah, I think that cancels out. But I think Makai, what he did after the catch, Jaden Mayava was just making the throws. Makai Lemon,
just making the throw, so just getting him the ball.
But what Makai was able to do after the catch, the run to the end zone, he had long touchdown of 74 yards this year. And he was able to do that week in and week out, make some fantastic catches. There were some throws by Jaden Mayava that were bad, and he went up against Illinois, grabbed them, and made something out of nothing.
Yeah, but I don't think you can say that London Weejay didn't make something out of nothing at multiple times, having a lot of blocks, having lots of kills. She was top 5 in the team in a bunch of major statistical categories.
Top 5, yeah.
As I mentioned, yeah, that's an overall very well-rounded
Makai Lemon
player.
led the team in receiving yards.
As I was trying to say, London Weejay led the team in kills, led the team in points. She was top 5 in assists, not top 5 in blocks, almost on the outside of that. She was a great team player overall.
Is she nominated for Outside Hitter of the Year?
She is not, but that doesn't
mean that
she didn't have
the
a great year.
Bolitnikoff Award candidate and probably going to win it? 6. Makai Lemon.
Why are you speaking like that?
Makai Lemon.
You're a funny. You got a funny way you talk. You know that sometimes.
Is that your only argument here?
In this specific one, look, I just think you have to look at overall the team success as well. USC women's volleyball, one of the best seasons they've had in years, and yes, USC men's football had a great year. What are they going to accomplish from that? The Alamo Bowl, which maybe we'll talk about later, but. Who cares, man? Who cares?
We're not debating team of the year. We're debating Trojan of the year.
USC is playing for a greater purpose, and London Weejay is at the center of that.
Yeah, but talk to me after the NCAA tournament. USC football.
Are you saying you have no confidence in USC women's volleyball?
All I'm going to say is they've lost in the second round the last 3 years.
You heard it here first. Doesn't think USC women's volleyball is good at all. He said it.
Well, they've lost in the second round of the NCAA tournament the last 3 years.
Year. Yeah, I mean in last year USC football. I keep saying men's football. USC
you don't know what you're talking
went
about.
6-6.
Yeah, so the point is both teams have been disappointing. It's not Trojan Team of the Year, it's Trojan of the Year.
Overall,
Makai Lemon is the best wide receiver in college football.
I like talking about they're helping their team success as a total too.
Which Makai Lemon carried USC.
How many top 25 wins did USC football have?
Multiple. Michigan, Iowa. We can keep going on.
It barely counts. Iowa's not top 25 anymore. And London
they were at the time.
Multiple top 25 wins, including a number 9 win against Nebraska.
She was just one part of the team, but that's all for this semester of Trojan of the Week. Terrence, you may never recover from the wrath I bring to you every Wednesday, and I know that you're losing some sleep.
Okay.
But it's now time for our favorite segment to spin everyone's colorful object, and that is the wheel.
Spin everyone's colorful object. Well put. I like spinning this colorful object. Let's see what it is. Casey, what does that say?
Best USC professor.
Oh, that's a good one. Do you want to go first?
I'm going to go with the GOAT. His name is Jeff Fellenzer.
Classic.
I took 380 last year. He's a guy that he knows everybody.
It's true.
He's connected. He just has so many great anecdotes. He preaches the gospel of John Wooden, the greatest coach of all time in any sport. Mm-hmm. And I just think, going into his class, I had a new way of thinking. He said, you got to be politely persistent in life. And that stuck with me every day because I'm a persistent guy.
Casey, I'm going to cheat a little bit. I'm going to take 2 people. First off, I'm going to take the woman who allows us to be on air. That's Stacy Shoulder. How are we not going to say Stacy?
Okay.
I don't know how it's not Stacy because she runs ATV. And the reason that we are sitting in these chairs right now is because Stacy allows us to. She allows us to produce. She allows us to do all these things. We wouldn't be here without Stacy Shoulder. I'll throw in a second one because he has to get a mention. Do you know where I'm going with this? It's Rob Parker. The guy who we're learning from on debates and how we talk to each other. The guy who was on First Take, Fox Sports Radio, the legend that is Rob Parker. We got to throw his name in there too.
I mean, there's certainly a GOAT debate to be had here.
I think there's a 3-headed GOAT debate that needs to be had someday. A longer conversation.
Well, moving on. Despite forward Kawhi Leonard's return, the LA Clippers continue to struggle while another one of their legendary veterans makes a big announcement. Next on Sports Scene. Lots of good football being played in Los Angeles. Rams and Chargers, first and second in their respective divisions. More on their outlook coming up.
The Clippers sent Chris Paul home this morning, making the decision to part ways with the future Hall of Famer just 21 days into his final season of his career. This season, Paul was averaging 2.9 points per game, shooting 33.3% from beyond the arc and 32% from the field. He was in his second stint with the team after first joining in 2011, a season that became known as the Lob City Clippers, with their high-flying and fast-paced offensive style of play. Here's a statement that the team sent out earlier this morning. Paul is a 12-time NBA All-Star, 4-time All-NBA first team, 5-time All-NBA second team. What a legacy player that the city is honestly getting rid of. But considering how unorganized the Clippers have been this season, I mean, they're 5-6 team, the bottom of the West. Personally, I think that they did him a favor, but they just went about it in an honestly just cruel way, considering everything that he gave to his organization.
Yeah, completely fair take.
As the semester comes to an end, though, and fall sports conclude their regular seasons here at USC, Adam, Nia, and I graded USC athletics for this semester. Myself and Nia both agreed on a B+ for USC. Adam, right there with us, with a solid B. Now, similar grades all around. What kind of went into your grading process for you guys?
Yeah, well, I would love to give them an A- or even an A. Water polo, great. I mean, you guys will talk about some other sports, but I just can't quite do it. When women's soccer came into the season, ranked number 5 in the country, preseason poll, and all of a sudden they're unranked and they didn't even make the tournament. I mean, just a brutal showing from them. But athletics was solid, and let's hear for the rest of them.
Yeah, I would have stuck with the B, but honestly, because considering how good men's basketball is right now, I mean, they're undefeated. They've made their way into the top 25 poll. Hasn't been done in 2 seasons. Like, Coach Musselman is changing the culture here at USC, so I had to just give them a little uplift for that. And of course, water polo went undefeated this year. I mean, football had a great season. You know, they didn't make it to the playoffs, but they still had a solid season. And then women's volleyball hosting this weekend. Like, that's awesome.
Great.
I was going to give USC an A-. I think water polo, as always, was great. Volleyball, really strong performances. And then men's basketball looks awesome. And women's basketball, even though it's a little bit of a disappointment, they're still kind of in that B+, A- range. It's just football was really disappointing to me. I think that's a B. USC, we've got expectations. Lincoln Riley, you got to make the playoff. Lincoln's had 4 years, hasn't been done, so that's taken it down a little bit for me. But B+, solid effort for USC.
Fair enough. Good semester.
That's a wrap for our sports coverage, though, here at Sports Scene. Congratulations to all the promising USC teams still competing, and best of luck as we approach conference championships. That's it for us here this semester at Sports Scene, though. From everyone behind the scenes and myself, I'm Nolan Ezett.
And I'm Nia Satterfield-Brown.
I'm Adam Yukasoglu. Thank you, Anthony, Sammy, Stacy, Robin, everybody. We hope to see you next semester on Sports Scene.
Thank you. We appreciate you guys.
Right
Happy
on.
holidays.
Right on.